All right, well, this is chapter 3a. 3.7 is the material. It's solving formulas. So first thing we're going to do is learn about function terminology, which is one of the main reasons we solve for formulas. Some of the other reasons we solve for formulas are if you're going to have repeated use of a formula. So it's just easier if you solve for the thing you're looking for rather than solving every single time. Also, if you're going to use a graphing calculator, you've got to be able to solve formulas to be able to input them into the calculator. All right, so function terminology. Let's do something easy, like x equals 2y plus 3. Okay, so the way that you read this using function terminology is, of course, x, and then the equal sign is interpreted as is a function of, and then whatever letters are in the right-hand side is what it's a function of. In this case, y, because you've got y's and numbers. Another example, I equals PRT. So you would read this, I is a function of, and in this case, you've got three variables, so it's a function of P, R, and T, because that's what you have on the right-hand side. All right, so let's say that you're asked to write x as a function of y. X as a function of y, and you're given the equation 3x plus 1 equals y. Okay, so writing x as a function of y means it's going to be x equals, and then as a function of y, you're going to have numbers and y on the right. But the main part is x as a function means x equals. So to get x alone, we're going to subtract 1 over to the right. So that gives you 3x equals y minus 1. And then, of course, to get the 3 off of the x, put this over a 1. Now, here's the new part. Because there's two terms over here, you're going to put them both over a 1. And then when you multiply by the reciprocal, which is a third, it will cancel out the 3's on the left, just like normal. What is different is it's going to get distributed on the right because there's a y and a negative 1. So you'll end up with y over 3 minus 1 over 3. That is x as a function of y. So when you have more than one term and you multiply both sides by the reciprocal, you have to backwards distribute on the right side. That would be new. Okay, so then the second thing they're going to ask you to do is once you have a formula, they're going to say something like find x when, and it's when, and then they're going to give you different values of y, like y equals -2, -1, 0. They'll give you like a list. So what you're going to do is now that you've solved for x, this is pretty easy. You just substitute it in. So, for example, we'll start with y equals -2. Subbing that in, I get x equals -2 over 3 minus 1 over 3, which is -3 over 3, which is a -1. So x equals -1 would be your answer. Let's do it again. Y equals -1 this time. So substitute in a -1 in for y. So x equals -1/3 minus 1/3. And again, this simplifies into x equals -2/3. So you're going to substitute in the values for y and use order of operations to actually simplify. Okay, so the second page of the notes I believe you have in your packet. If you don't, that's okay. You can still follow along. We have a practice solving for variables page, and this has pretty much all of the formulas that you're going to see on your homework. Now, we're not going to do all of them, but we are going to do several of them. So first one we're going to do is going to be distance formula, D equals RT, and we are going to solve for R. All right, that's our mission. Let me zoom in here just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to solve for R. So we start with D equals RT. I need to get R by itself. So here's my R. So let's just flip-flop the sides and get it onto the left. So RT equals D. So now we have our R on the left, which is good. So to get rid of the T, we're going to get rid of it just like we do a scalar. You're going to put both sides over 1, and you're going to multiply by what you want to cancel. You want the T to cancel, so you're going to multiply by 1 over T on both sides, just like you would a normal reciprocal. So the T and the T cancel, and R is alone. On the right, tops times tops, D times 1 is D, bottoms times bottoms, 1 times T is T, and you have solved for R. Okay, so let's do I equals PRT. And again, we're not going to use all of these, and I'm sorry the spaces don't exactly line up. They were a little small for solving. So I'm just going to color code the boxes so you know what goes with which formula. Right. So this time we're going to take the simple interest formula, I equals PRT, and we're going to solve for P. Okay, so let's write the formula, I equals PRT. Now, just like the other one, if you want to get P on the left-hand side quickly, just flip-flop the sides. So PRT equals I. Okay, so P is now on the left. Now we need to get rid of the R and the T. So again, we're going to put both sides over the invisible 1. And we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of what we want to cancel. So 1 over, I want R and T to cancel. On the other side, by the same thing, 1 over RT. R and T cancel on the left. T is alone on the right. Tops times tops. I times 1 is I. Bottoms times bottoms. 1 times RT is RT. And you have solved for P. All right, so now we're going to get a little more complicated. We're going to do the temperature formula here, Fahrenheit to Celsius. And for that, we're going to use these two boxes here. All right, so we are going to solve for C. So let's write the formula. We've got F equals 9/5 C plus 32. So just like the others, to get C onto the left, we can just flip-flop the sides. So I get 9/5 C plus 32 equals F. I just rewrote them. Okay, so normally if you were solving for X, pretend the C is an X, you would add or subtract X's left, it's left. You would add or subtract non-X's to the right. 32 is a non-X, so we're going to subtract 32, subtract 32. So that gives me 9/5 C equals F minus 32. Okay, the C term is alone. So again, put the right-hand side in parentheses and over its invisible 1. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 5 over 9 because we want C to be alone. So multiply this by 5 over 9. So I need a little bit more space. 9s and the 5s cancel. C equals, and then you're going to average distribute that 5/9. So you end up with 5F over 9 minus, and then 32 times 5 is 160 over 9. And that is your answer. All right, we're going to skip down here. Skipping. We're going to do the perimeter of a rectangle equation. And we're going to solve for W. Okay, so let's write what we've got. P equals 2L plus 2W. Okay, just like before, if I want to get W to the left quickly, I just flip-flop the sides. So I'm going to write 2W plus 2L equals P. Okay, the W is on the left. Now, solving steps, add or subtract, X is left, my W is left. Add or subtract non-X's to the right, the 2L needs to move. So I'm going to subtract the 2L over to the right. So now I've got 2W equals P minus 2L. Okay, we're ready for the reciprocal move. So put the right-hand side. It might help if you put them over their individual ones. Sometimes that helps your brain see the distribution. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal to get W by itself. So we're going to multiply by a half on both sides. On the left, the 2's cancel. And on the right, you're going to backwards distribute the 1/2. Tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms. You get P times 1 is P over 1 times 2, which is 2. And then when you distribute it here, the 2's are going to cancel out. And you're just going to have minus L because the 2 on top and the 2 on the bottom cancel. And there you have solved for W. All right, last one of these, and then we're done. We're going to do area of a trapezoid, which is this formula right here. I'm going to come over here, and we are going to solve for B sub 1, which is the first one. So let's write our formula. A equals 1/2 times B sub 1 plus B sub 2 times H. Okay, so first thing you want to do is get the B sub 1 on the left quickly. So we're going to flip-flop the sides. So I've got 1/2 B sub 1 plus B sub 2 times H equals A. All I did was flip-flop the sides. Okay, so now we're going to get rid of the 1/2 and the H. So first let's get rid of the 1/2. Multiply by reciprocal times 2 over 1 times 2 over 1. That's now gone. So now I have H times B sub 1 plus B sub 2 equals 2A. Do the same move. Put this over its 1, put that over its 1. Multiply by the reciprocal. 1 over H, 1 over H. The H's cancel. And B sub 1 plus B sub 2 is now free from her parentheses. And then I have 2A over an H. So the last thing you need to do to get the B sub 1 alone is to subtract the B sub 2 out. And we could not have done it before because the B sub 2 was trapped in the parentheses right here. And you couldn't get it out until you had removed the H and the 1/2. So B sub 1 equals 2A over H minus B sub 2. And that is your last formula. So each of the problems on your homework are going to look like these, maybe different letters, but the basic same moves. All right, that's everything. Have a good rest of your day.